So, welcome to the top of Calton Hill in Edinburgh. It is here that every year the official Seven Hills of Edinburgh race begins. It's actually 8 hills because you have to walk up Calton Hill just to get to the start line. The race routes and the challenge of completing all 7 hills has become a popular activity in the city of Edinburgh. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to do it under race conditions. Time to get going. Nice to see the sun out in Edinburgh today as well.
Hello, I'm Tom Bushell, and here on the Planet Playground YouTube channel I explore destinations through sport and adventure because
our planet is our playground.
This week I'm guiding you on how exactly to do the 7 Hills of Edinburgh challenge and attempting to finish it within one day. So if you want to explore Edinburgh and see it from every angle and follow in my footsteps, keep watching.
I would love you to subscribe, it really does help the Planet Playground channel. Please do like the video and of course comment below with any questions as well.
The 7 Hills of Edinburgh race officially began in 1980, and on a clear day, Calton Hill provides the perfect setting to see the route laid out in front of you as you look over the stunning Scottish capital.
So from the top of Calton Hill, you'll then begin this challenge by walking down the west slope and staircase back down to the main road. Once you're down from the steps, you're into the busy streets of the city centre of Edinburgh.
Once at the bottom of the Calton Hill steps, walk right towards Princess Street and you'll have a chance to grab a coffee.
And now that I have my coffee, I can begin this challenge properly.
With all your supplies in hand, cross over the road at Waterloo Place and take a left to head over the bridge.
Once you've crossed North Bridge, it's a case of turning right, and that's where our first hill climb of the day begins, up the Royal Mile and up the volcanic rock in which Edinburgh Castle sits atop.
Now, as I'm trying to complete this race in good time, it's important not to get distracted by the bagpipe players, crowds, Scottish shops, shirts, posters and whiskey experiences.
Now my question to you is, how long do you think this is actually going to take me? 7 Hills of Edinburgh, it's around 14 miles in total. Put your predictions in the comments below. I looked up last year's race times online last night. Pretty remarkable. I'll let you know what they are in just a little bit, but comment below on what you think the time is to get this done.
Whilst I'm unsure of just how long this hike will take me today, the first hill of the 7 arrives pretty quickly. At the top of the Royal Mile, Edinburgh Castle comes into view and you can tick Castle Rock off the list.
And here we are, hill number 1 of 7. It's Edinburgh Castle.
And whilst the views are brilliant, there's no time to hang around. There are 6 more hills to conquer. You'll now need to head down the steep steps to the left, just in front of the castle ticket office.
Once you've come down those steep steps from the castle esplanade, you need to turn right and you'll be on Johnston Terrace.
Keep heading straight with the castle behind you until you bear right onto Braid Street. You'll then cross over Lothian Road and continue straight until you reach Haymarket train station.
Once you've passed Haymarket train station, on your left you need to keep heading west along Haymarket Terrace. You're aiming to reach Murrayfield Avenue.
And it is on this long, flat, urban stretch of the route where the road will change from Haymarket Terrace to Osborne Terrace, and where you can really consider what lies in front of you. 14 miles through the busiest areas of the city, Edinburgh's suburbs, and areas of wilderness and natural beauty.
It is essentially a test of hill running, road running, cross-country and urban orienteering.
And though this race doesn't have an official route, there are 6 checkpoints you have to pass. So if you want to do this race in the future, this guide will help you plan your route, as it is close to the most efficient.
Although there'll be no running from me today, and my checkpoints might include a pub or two. Wow, the sun's out and it's Good Friday.
Once you've reached Roseburn Terrace, the site of Edinburgh's most famous sporting venue soon tells you to turn right up Murrayfield Avenue.
We're going uphill again for the first time in a while. There is 2,200 feet of ascending and descending on this Seven Hills of Edinburgh hike.
Walk up to the Ravelston Dykes Road, where you will take a left and then head all the way along past Murrayfield Golf Club's clubhouse, where you will continue heading straight.
Eventually the road will bend off to the right, and it's here where you'll see a path on your left. Be careful crossing here because it's difficult to see, but you need to follow the path, which essentially splits Murrayfield Golf Club in two. And it's on this path that we get our first sighting of our second hill.
Continue upwards on the path until you get to this viewing point on top of the golf course. It's here you can soak up stunning views of Edinburgh. And once you've taken it all in, follow the path along the fence to the right, down some steps, along a little grass area, and then bear right before Corstorphine Tower comes into view.
Hill number 2 complete. This is the official checkpoint, the tower. Oh. 2 hills. It's taken me 2.5 hours. Let's get a move on.
The route to the third hill, Craiglockhart, begins with retracing your steps, then a right back onto the path in the park, reach the little car park, then take a left onto a residential road in Edinburgh, which must have one of the best views in the city.
This street as you walk down it, the views are incredible of the Pentlands. Well, we're definitely back into an urban section of this Seven Hill challenge now. When you get to the bottom of that road, you'll get to the main road out of Edinburgh, really, essentially Glasgow Road. You need to turn left and then very quickly turn right, just where that big glass office building is. I'm looking forward to getting back into the nature, back into the hills.
Once you've crossed the road, you'll head south along this alley and then continue southwards through a residential area until you reach a railway bridge.
Here's the footbridge over the railway line. We are making good progress today. Just after you've crossed the railway bridge, you need to cross the tram tracks, but just watch in case there's a tram coming by you.
Next, take the steps down from the tram lines and turn left onto Stenhouse Drive, and soon you'll find somewhere to grab some refreshments.
Well, as it appears, I'm halfway in terms of miles done. 8 miles done. They say this is about 14 miles. I think it's worth a coffee, isn't it? As we get into early lunch, really. Gives us the energy for all the hills to come.
Once fueled up, keep going along Stenhouse Drive, heading straight over the roundabout until you reach Gorgie Road. Then take a left and very quickly cross the road, head west and over the Water of Leith.
Lovely view of Edinburgh Castle off into the distance. Castle Rock, of course, our first hill conquered today. Now it's a case of turning right onto Chester Avenue as we head towards our third hill of the day.
Walk down Chester Avenue, you'll eventually pass an Asda on your right. You'll then turn right onto Slateford Road before heading left onto Allen Park Road once you've gone under the railway bridge. The road then turns into a path before it guides you over Union Canal.
So this canal actually goes all the way into the centre of Edinburgh, and you can kayak along it into the middle of town as well. If you'd like to know how you do that, I'll put the link to the video in the description below. On a day like today, it's well worth doing it. Once you've crossed Union Canal, follow the footpath upwards and we'll soon be at the foot of our third hill, Craiglockhart Hill.
When you get to the top of Craiglockhart Road, cross over Colinton Road and then walk up the drive that takes you into Craiglockhart Leisure and Tennis Centre.
I'm seriously impressed with Craiglockhart Tennis Club. Look at these courts.
I, however, didn't have time for a game as I was still only 2 hills into 7.
So once you've passed the tennis courts on your left, you may not feel like you're going in the right direction, but you'll get to this sign that says Woodland Walk, and then you just carry on straight. And here we get to the base of the third hill of the day, Craiglockhart Hill. As you come out of the buildings, straight opposite is actually the quickest way up here. This is pretty much, I mean, can you see how steep that is? That's where the official race runners will go up here. No chance, no. There is another route for us less inclined to pursue that avenue. There's a proper path that goes around to the right. So this is the start of 3 hills in quick succession. Craiglockhart, which we're on now, Braid, and then Blackford Hill, before we tackle the biggest of them all, Arthur's Seat, and then the Calton Hill. And according to my Fitbit, I'm 5 hours in. So the next 3 hills need to be done in fairly quick time.
So with Craiglockhart completed, it's a chance to take in Edinburgh from another angle before heading to number 4 and Braid Hill.
As you walk off Craiglockhart Hill, nice view of the Penlands, including the ski slopes there, which of course I've done a video about.
Follow the path to the east down the hill until you reach Craiglea Place. Then take a right onto Morningside Drive, left at the bottom onto Greenbank Drive, all the way along until you turn right onto Greenbank Terrace and past the petrol station on your left.
So just after the Shell petrol station and just before the Braid Hills Hotel, you come across these steps which you need to take up to get to Braid Road.
You'll pop out at the Braid Hills Hotel, take a right up the hill a little, then turn left towards the nursing home, and then a right up the Braid Hill approach. You'll soon reach yet another golf course, this time Braid Hills Golf Course. Take a right until you see the entrance to the hill on your left.
Back off the streets and into the hills. Welcome to Braid Hills. I don't know what's happened to me. I seem to be running up a hill. I'm just conscious of time. Still got the biggest hill, Arthur's Seat, to come. I don't want to hang about. Hill number 4, Braid Hill, completed. So let me know, just wondering if the Seven Hills of Edinburgh is something that you would do, either just as a casual walk such as I'm doing today, or the actual race. Let me know in the comments below. It's a brilliant way to see the Scottish capital from all different angles. Arthur's Seat over there. That's coming up in 2 hills time. Right, good to get number 4 done. And you know what, for the first time I'm facing the city once again, and I can see the 3 remaining hills, Blackford Hill, Arthur's Seat and Calton Hill as well. I feel like I'm on the homeward stretch. Now to get off Braid Hill, you've got to essentially head in the northeast direction off the hill. So you've got to cross the golf course. Balls flying everywhere. I just saw a runner go down this path, so I'm deciding to put my faith in him. It must be the way. He must be training for the Seven Hills of Edinburgh race. It is taking us downhill, this path. Whoa. It's just great, this little path. Basically, you'll find it, I mean, I don't know how. I found it because a runner in a bright orange t-shirt came down here. But it's definitely the right way down onto Braid Hill Drive, which is just down here. Oh, I love a good adventure. And look where it's brought us out to. Perfect. So just be a little careful when you come out of that path if you find it to get off Braid Hill, because it brings you out right onto the main road. So don't come running out or anything like that. But here at Langling Path, you take this path, which is what gets us up the next one, the 5th hill, Blackford Hill. We're making progress here.
Follow the path all the way along and then take a right at the very end of the fence and behind the tree.
So once you've taken that right and you follow the path along, on your left is an extremely steep bank, slippery as well. No obvious way down to the water down there, and apparently racegoers find a way down there. But if you're not doing it as a race, you can walk along this path for a more gradual descent. I can't tell you how many blisters are on my feet. I'm going to check at the top of Blackford Hill what the mileage is, what the time is, how many calories have been burnt, everything. My Fitbit's probably going to say, stop Tom, stop.
Once you have descended down to Braid Burn, cross over the bridge and you'll see a signpost directing you back uphill to the summit of Blackford Hill, our 5th hill of the day. And it's here I began to feel very fatigued.
Interestingly, on the race website, as part of the course, it says follow this path for a few hundred yards and then you'll get to the base of the green bank, the grass bank. Oh, that looks tough. Anyway, let's get it done. I'm zigzagging it to try and make it less steep. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Come on. I'm just crawling up the last bit. This is what they mean by cross country. I'm almost at the top. Oh, there we go. Oh, what an effort. Oh, there's still a bit more to go up. Oh God. Hill number 5, Blackford Hill, done. 2 to go. I've got to get a move on.
And the reason I had to get a move on was because it was getting later in the day and I still had the biggest hill of them all to do, Arthur's Seat, which seemed to be teasing me as a beacon of pain still to come. So as quick as I could, I got myself down Blackford Hill along Observatory Road, but then it all came to an abrupt stop. With the last of my camera batteries dead, my Fitbit dead, and quite frankly, my feet dead. I had to abort after 5 hills. Still, every cloud and all that. It was time to take stock and get a bit of R&R ready to come back tomorrow to finish the 7 Hills of Edinburgh off.
Well, I could have just cleverly edited this together to make it seem like it was all in one day, but the fact of the matter is...
Hang on a minute, Tom, you've also had a haircut and you're wearing different clothes, so I'm not sure your clever editing would have hid that. Anyway, as you were.
After aborting the 7 Hills of Edinburgh hike yesterday, it's now a new day, and I'm returning to finish it off with 2 more hills to conquer. The batteries have been recharged, my feet have recovered a little, so it's time to show you the rest of this route.
Still to come, I'll show you the remaining route of the 7 Hills of Edinburgh hike, take you up the steepest path of the hike's biggest hill, and have a race to the finish line. But first, beginning where we left off yesterday, at the Harrison Arch at the bottom of the Observatory Road, take a left and you'll find some allotments on the right. It's thought you can make a shortcut through here during the race, but for today it's a case of walking down the road, then taking a right onto West Saville Terrace. Next you'll need to turn left onto Mayfield Road, walking about 5 blocks northwards past an abundance of coffee shops, should you not have had the luxury of an overnight rest, like me. Eventually you'll get to a familiar sight, the Old Bell Inn, my refuge last night after aborting the hike on day 1. It's here you'll need to turn right onto Duncan Street.
Sadly, no time this morning to pop in for a pit stop at the Old Bell Inn, but once you're onto Duncan Street, it's a case of following it along all the way to Dalkeith Road.
You'll walk past the rather nice houses on Duncan Street before crossing over Minto Street. You'll then carry on east into Blackett Lane, which could be one of the nicest streets I've seen in Edinburgh. Eventually though, you'll reach Dalkeith Road and you need to take a left. Walk up Dalkeith Road and then you'll see the Royal Commonwealth Pool on your right. It's here you need to turn right onto Holyrood Park Road.
So once you've got to the park entrance, you will be greeted with a view of the 6th and the highest hill of them all, Arthur's Seat, at 823 feet. It's time for one big push and then we are on the homeward straight. Once you've crossed the upper road, you'll find this path. It's sort of a gravel path to begin with, and then steps begin. And this is a steep way up Arthur's Seat, but it is the quickest route, the most direct route on the official route of the 7 Hills of Edinburgh.
At the fork in the path, take it to the right. The path upwards does switch back regularly, slightly lowering the angle of ascent, but there is no doubting this is the 7 Hills of Edinburgh's biggest test.
If I was competing in a race and this was my 6th hill of the day, I'd prefer to get this out of the way first, to be honest.
One good thing about this steep path is that the views you get of Edinburgh give you an excuse to stop every now and again and soak it all up.
There it is, the summit of Arthur's Seat, not too far away now. Interestingly, the trophies that are given to the winners of the 7 Hills of Edinburgh race each year are made out of rock, taken from the volcanic rock in which Arthur's Seat is the summit. But considering I'm now on to my 2nd day of doing this route, I don't think I'll be taking home one of those trophies anytime soon.
Once you've reached the top of the staircase path, you'll walk across a flat plateau area before making your way up the final summit ascent. And then, just like that, Hill number 6 is complete. And whilst I would love to say something important here at the top of Edinburgh's highest hill, you wouldn't be able to hear me because of the gale force winds, in which my microphone just doesn't work very well. But if you'd like to subscribe and keep the Planet Playground channel growing, maybe one day I can get a mic, which means I can say something poetic at the top of Arthur's Seat. First though, it's a sprint to the finish. You'll need to take the northeastern path down Arthur's Seat.
Once you've come off the Arthur's Seat path and crossed the road, you need to find the east wall of the Palace of Holyrood House. Follow it northwards. At the end of the path, you'll get onto this cobbled street. Just keep going north. You need to take a sharp right at that roundabout to begin the final climb up towards the summit of Calton Hill. And we've done it, the Seven Hills of Edinburgh. And so, for those winning times in the race last year in 2022, the men's winning time, 1 hour 35, and the women's winning time, 1 hour 37. It took me 2 days.
Thank you so much for watching this video. For more sport and adventure things to do, such as hiking Ben Nevis, attending the Edinburgh Derby and more, click the in-video links now as I tell the story of our world through sport and adventure, because our planet is our playground. On my next Edinburgh adventure, I'll show you the 3 main routes to reach the summit of Arthur's Seat. See you then.